You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Steven Schleicher from Majorspoilers.com, and I want to thank you for checking out this week's episode of Critical Hit. And I want to take a moment and I want to thank all of our patrons, because quite honestly, we wouldn't be able to do this show week after week, month after month, year after year, to the point where we have become one of the longest running, continuous real play podcasts out there. And we're so thankful to all of our patrons for making that happen. But we are at a point at Major Spoilers and Critical Hit where that may not be feasible anymore, because we need more of you, our fine listeners from all over the world, whether you're in Germany or Scandinavia or Australia or, yes, even Japan and China. We need more of you to join our growing group of awesome spoilerites at patreon.com/majorspoilers. And I know you're thinking, oh, I'll let the other person who's listening to the show take care of it. No, if everybody had that approach, then we wouldn't have any new patrons. And we need more of you to step up. I'm asking you to step up and join our group for just $5 a month. $5 a month at the silver level membership at patreon.com/majorspoilers gets you access to a bunch of stuff. You get behind the scenes on what's going on at Major Spoilers. You get this show a week early and commercial free. So if you don't like our commercials, well, then get on the Patreon at the silver level membership. Plus, you get access to secret channels on the Major Spoilers Discord server where you can go and talk about Critical Hit and other things. You can sign up at that silver level membership. $5 a month, just $5 a month. If we had 100, 200, 300, 1,000 of you, which there's more than 1,000 listeners to this show, if we had 1,000 of you sign up the silver level membership, we would be able to do so much more for you at Major Spoilers and the Major Spoilers Podcast Network and here at Critical Hit. But you want a little bit more? Okay, at the gold level, $10 a month, you get access to the Critical Hit character sheets. I'm rolling out the new character sheets right now on the Patreon page, patreon.com/majorspoilers. Right now, you can see what changes have been made to Doc and to Dutch, and in the coming weeks, Blisco and Valentino as well. You get access to our VIP live chat, where once a month I sit down with you and answer your questions about what's going on at Major Spoilers. And most importantly, you get access to the GM Roundtable. Now, what is the GM Roundtable? Some of you don't listen past the end. I talk about it every week, but the GM Roundtable in the past has been where we sit down and we tell you advice. We share advice with you on how to be a better game master at the table for you and your players. Currently, the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition is where I sit down with Dr. Bradley Will. You've heard him GM many games here on Critical Hit. And we talk about my plans for upcoming sessions. Like, I know where the team is going next. And so I'll sit down with Brad and I'll say, well, here's my plan and here's my thoughts and here's some things that I'm going to throw at the players. And Brad will share his, very knowledgeable reactions to this. Sometimes it gets a little heated. And so you really get an inside look at what's going on behind the scenes on this campaign. And you can take these lessons that I am learning as a newish GM, and you take the knowledge that Brad is sharing, and you can apply it to your own games. So just at the $10 a month, that weekly or bi-weekly, depending on when we have new episodes out, but generally weekly, they come out before new episodes of Critical Hit, you can get an inside look at what's going on in upcoming sessions. And of course, if you want your name as part of a Critical Hit game, that happens when you become an associate producer at patreon.com/major spoilers. So we had a whole episode entitled The Great NATO. The Great NATO is one of our great patrons. He's been with us almost since the beginning. And we love the Great NATO so much that we made a character in the game based on him. So now is the time. Now is the perfect time for you to head to patreon.com/major spoilers. Sign up just for $5 a month. $5 a month. In fact, we've got a deal. If you sign up for a whole year in advance, you get 2 months free. You pay for 10 months and you get 2 months free. That's quite a deal. So $5 a month keeps this show going, brings you more entertainment, and gets you access to a bunch of other stuff. So if you can, take a moment, go to patreon.com/major spoilers and sign up for that silver level membership, just $5 a month. And I thank you so much in advance from the bottom of my heart. And of course, all the players appreciate it too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Critical Hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story. So don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. From the unredacted archives of Section M, the Diary of Brigadier Justin Fennessy, December 14th, 1939. The fog of uncertainty clouds my thoughts, and the burden of responsibility weighs heavy upon my soul. The mission we find ourselves entwined within is far more precarious than I've ever been led to believe. This is a realm of shadows and whispers, a clandestine dance on the precipice of chaos, where the unwary might be consumed by the abyss that is human folly. The Americans, in their absolute brashness and seemingly incautious approach, have drawn my ire. I find myself engulfed in a tempest of distrust. Private Arbogast and his retinue navigate this labyrinth of shadows as a bull through a china shop, a presence both disruptive and uncoordinated. The mission of such crucial importance to the Empire, and indeed humanity itself, stands threatened by their uncalibrated fervor. My reluctance to unveil the full tapestry of our clandestine endeavors to the Americans arises not from a place of vanity or undue rivalry, but a grave concern for the mission's sanctity. I fear, deep within the recesses of my mind, that the unrestrained zeal of the American agents may grant an inadvertent advantage to the malevolent shadows lurking within our midst. Information, the elixir of power in our secret war, might become the very poison that corrodes the integrity of our endeavors. The murmurs of unrest within my thoughts, though, grow louder each day, hinting at a concealed saboteur, potentially from the Black Sun, amidst our ranks in Section M. Every interaction, every whispered word is now shrouded in shadows of mistrust and potential betrayal, and the air seems laden with the undercurrent of hidden deceit. The unseen adversary blends seamlessly among us, his presence a concealed dance of malevolent intentions within our sanctuary, making every shared word a dangerous dance between revelation and deeper deceit. It's crucial that this hidden infiltrator be identified swiftly. Each moment he remains concealed within our ranks, the symphony of betrayal amplifies, risking the sanctity and the unity of our mission. The daunting responsibility to unmask this unseen foe and silence his whispers of betrayal to restore the harmony and the sanctity of Section M bears heavily on my soul. A mission fraught with unseen perils, but one I must undertake to safeguard our sacred cause. General Eisenhower is a man of honor, I have no doubt. Yet the cascade of knowledge may trickle down to untested hands, agents of unwarranted impetuosity. The depths of our knowledge, the labyrinthine intricacies of our mission, are carefully calibrated secrets, keys to locks which guard the very fabric of our reality. The pursuit of the Eidolon emissary within the obscure precincts of Amun-Rahim almost cost us the team, and they inadvertently brought a Nazi agent into their fold. Lizelle Bohm is one not to be trifled with, and the fact that she is involved, along with the Days of the Week agents, means Exarch Weisler believes he can reshape the world by bringing Yog-Sothoth into it. Madness. Madness. My sole respite, my solitary solace in this secret war, is the unwavering trust in my loyal men and women of Section M. Each step taken in the shadows is a step closer to illumination, each whisper caught in the silent winds a symphony of revelations. I am torn between allegiance and duty, between the unseen bonds of shared purpose and the sacred mantle of protection bestowed upon my weary shoulders. It is a solitary road that I walk, but walk it I must, with unwavering resolve and a steadfast dedication to the sanctity of our sacred duty. It is my fervent hope that the noble General Eisenhower understands this veiled silence, these shadowed words. We navigate a labyrinth of profound secrecy and visible threads, a world where the echoed whispers may well be the heralds of our collective doom. I hope, too, that these boys, these American boys, will someday know how much the fate of the world rests upon their shoulders, and my actions are meant to keep them on task and not to drive them into the pits of despair that this burden has done to me on one too many occasions. I pray that they are successful in their mission in Murano. We've not heard from them in many days. Brigadier Justin Hennessy. So there's a lot going on in that letter. It's dated December 14th, 1939. The last time that the Brigadier heard from you was on December 10th, the night before you were to break into the museum and try to get the orb. Good thing was, you were successful in getting the orb. Hooray!
Hooray.
The bad thing is, a couple of you took a lot of damage, and you need to get out of Italy quickly without attracting too much attention. And right now, there are no direct flights from Italy to France.
Sure.
You are able to make it out of Italy by taking a plane to Switzerland, a neutral territory. But as we start this session, you have zero momentum. And let's see if we can change this. First of all, you all have some really cool weapons. I think Blisco has a Foe Seeker, a very sought-after weapon. And I bet, Blisco, you would like to keep that.
Yes, please.
All right. Here's what happens. You guys roll up to the airport, and they're checking everybody. You have patched up Valentino and Doc as much as you can, but you're going to somehow have to persuade the airline that these weapons that you're bringing are part of a hunting trip that you are taking in Switzerland. So if someone would like to roll a will plus persuasion, only need a D1, this will allow you to get your weapons out of Italy.
I got 11.
It's... So we talk about
persuasion?
Taking
Will
all
plus
of the
persuasion.
weapons? Okay.
All of the weapons, except for
Okay.
the hand grenades. The hand grenades, if you still have a hand grenade, you need to delete those off of your character sheets.
Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say maybe we could come up with a different story for the Foe Seeker if that's the only one we were worried about. But
Oh no, it's all your weapons.
Nobody is going to recognize the Foe Seeker for what it is, though.
yeah, we could come up with some other thing that it is other than a weapon. But no, yeah, I guess
Is it up to you, Brian?
I can try. Just
Okay.
put us forth as well-to-do zealous Americans with crazy weaponry for wildlife. and
Hunting those
expeditions.
Swiss wolves that plague the countryside.
Yes.
All right, a will plus persuasion D1.
All right. Yep. All right. Here goes.
Hey,
two
two successes. You get a momentum out of that. So yeah, the airline is just like, yeah, fine, whatever. people are coming and going with weapons, their favorite weapons, to go hunting or whatever all the time, and they get you aboard the plane. But as much as you would be able to patch up Valentino and Doc, as much as you can do that, they really need to convalesce. And so upon landing in Switzerland, you need to convince the hospital that a hunting accident caused the damage to Doc and Valentino. So, Valentino, you can't roll on this one,
Okay.
but somebody else needs to roll a will plus persuasion to get these two checked into the hospital.
I have
I'll
a
do
question about Will, Stephen.
What about it?
So when we did the last thing,
The will plus persuasion?
yeah, I have an additional, like a +1 in will. Is that something that can be used like the bonus for insight?
I don't think you have a bonus in will. I show your will is at 9.
It should be where the first plus comes in.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it
that's
bumped
your-
up my courage.
Yep, that's your courage. That
Okay,
will
yeah.
bonus.
That's where it is. Got it. Okay, never mind. Got it. I know what I'm doing here. Yeah. Math is hard.
And also, Matthew, to point out, read down on your read from a forbidden book or whatever the talent that you have.
Yes.
Your persuasion checks have to be at least one higher than the current one,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because of your weirdness.
Numb to the horror. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. All right,
And
so
notice
Rodrigo,
I'm
you're
not
going to do
even,
this.
not even playing.
Yeah, but
You can roll in any talents that you have.
okay. I'll use my subtle cues talent then.
All right.
So I can get a free D20 without spending any momentum. So I'll roll 3 D20 for this. And I'll try to be charming about this.
All right.
Unrecognized command. What?
Uh-oh.
R. Oh, I forgot the R. There we go.
Hey, 3 successes.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. So you get 2 momentum out of that. Okay, so you are able to get them both into the hospital, and the hospital is just like, yeah, hunting accidents happen all the time. But because Valentino and Doc don't speak either High Deutsch or what is the Swiss language, the dialect that is there just north of Italy, Blisco and Dutch need to stay in the hospital with them. And so this is why you're not able to be in contact with Section M for several days.
Okay.
And so now it is December 16th. You've been checked out of the hospital. You've been patched up. You've been given blood transfusions. Dutch and Blisco, you've had a chance to rest and get some sleep over these last couple of days. You may all clear any stress, any fatigue that you have. And because you did update your characters, some of you now have more hit points or stress than you did before. And so make sure you pay attention to that. I am at this time not having you change any of your fortune from where you were at. So I think Matthew is the only one that has a fortune.
I think that's right.
I think Blisco, do you also have just one fortune?
I am marked as 0.
Oh, okay.
I think I tried to use it to shoot the gun.
Okay.
Which
all right.
Didn't help.
So right now you all only, save for Matthew, you have 0 fortune at this point. But from Switzerland, you are able to catch a flight back to Paris. Over those 6 days that you are, convalescing, you have the chance to listen to the radio or read newspapers, or you can, as Doc and Valentino wake up, you can sit there and play games. One interesting bit of news that people in the hospital are talking about, if you may have read in the newspaper, the Canadian ambassador to Italy was arrested. The story goes on to talk about the Canadian ambassador was arrested amid chants of lock him up after the Italians claimed a Canadian force blew up a warehouse on the island of Murano on December 10th, 1939. Tensions right now are very tense very high between Canada and Italy at this moment. And so you're able to arrive in Paris, and you make your way to the Paris library, the one that you've been at before, where Section M has now headquartered itself.
Is it still operating as a library?
It is still operating as a library. So up on the third floor, so you should all now be in a library screen. So the library is big to begin with. So in one section of the third floor is where the main office components of Section M is located. So Antoine's office is there. Pontus's office is there. This is where they have the communications room. The Brigadier's office is there. There is a research library where Antoine and Pontus will bring volumes from the main library area into this area for specific research. There's a briefing room and some other rooms that can be used. On the basement level where you all were at before, there are also a section that has been cleared away for Section M to do what they need to do, including a small medical area. There's a games room, a mess hall, a kitchen, and a technical lab that people have access to in this area. But yes, it is still a working library. You are only occupying a small part of the library.
We will try to get someone to take us to the Brigadier.
Yeah, sure. You walk right up to the third floor where Antoine's office is. Oh, hello. Oh, it's so good to see you. We've been so worried about you. We haven't heard from you for days. Is everyone okay? Valentino, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, I'm so glad. And Pontus will be happy to hear that you're okay as well. It's just been a crazy time these last couple of days.
Yeah, it sure has.
Have you heard about the Canadians?
Yeah, running into some trouble there in Italy. It's crazy.
I think, honestly, in the fight against fascism, I think that's good. They're poking the bear. Canada has two armies, one in English and one in French.
Yes, very well. Yes, let me take you to the Brigadier. And so he takes you from his office through a communications room. And in the communications room, this is where, messages are being sent and received. There is a machine that can be used as an early version of a teletype where information can come in, but there's also kind of like a typewriter device where information can also be broadcast back out. There's a big radio here. And there is a young woman, a blonde woman, who is sitting there with headphones on, and she's kind of frantically searching through papers, trying to, look for something while she is trying to monitor the radio signals. And Antoine leads you right from the communications room into the Brigadier's office. Oh, boys, it is so good to see you. Welcome back. How was the mission in Murano?
It was a success. We got
very good, very good. Yes, may I see it?
Sure.
This is magnificent. How does it work?
Well, you look through it, and he concentrate through it
to his face.
Yeah, and it shows you. It shows you things.
Oh, look! There's a line going out of my office and down the hallway. Interesting, very fascinating. And as he turns, he goes, "Oh, the line is moving." And as he kind of spins around, he's like, "Oh, yes, the line continues to point in the same direction. Interesting, very, very interesting. Yes. Are you planning on leaving this here, or is this something that you need for your next mission?"
Well, we're not even sure exactly what it points to, other than likely exits, would just be useful. But also, it's a grapefruit-sized orb. Like, it's also a grapefruit-sized,
volleyball-sized,
like a volleyball-sized bit of glass. So carrying it, we've had to be very careful with it.
It is.
We don't know if
heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy, and we don't know if it's as frail as normal glass. But I personally don't think that we should take this thing out. And besides, we've had some success with the means. So this means that if we have one artifact at Section M and one artifact with us, the Nazis can't attack one place and get both.
Yes, true. Let's put
You
this
gents
in
agree
the...
with that?
Yeah,
I do.
sounds good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's put this in the research library. Only myself and Antoine and Pontus have access to this room, and he leads you to a side door that then leads into a small library. The walls are lined with books. There's a couple of tables there. There are some tomes that are opened up to various pages. Some of these look very old, and he just goes over to the shelf and kind of pulls off a few books and sets the orb right on the shelf. I think that should be fine.
Okay.
And then there's another door that leads you out into the briefing room, and he walks you out through the briefing room. Sitting in one of the chairs is an older gentleman with glasses. He is flipping through the latest edition of the Paris Gazette, and you can hear him cluck his tongue. Poor Canada, and Mussolini. That he's just kind of muttering under his breath. Stephen. And the man looks up from behind his paper. Yes, sir. I'd like to have you meet a couple of our international agents. And he stands up, and this man he's got to be in his 40s or 50s at least. He's an older man. His hair is slicked back. Like I said, he's wearing glasses. Now, boys, this is one of our agents, Stephen Howland, and he is working on various things for us here in Paris, looking into the fog, looking into the creatures underground, and kind of taking care of things here. Oh, well, it's nice to meet you, boys. And he shakes all of your hands.
Likewise.
Yes. Yes, this is our briefing room, and there's easily an exit back out to the hallway from that. We have been doing a lot of things over the last couple of weeks since you left Paris before. Fortunately, the museum curator was very nice and gave us the space both here and down in the sublevel, where we have set up kind of a little bivouac for Colonel Harris and his group.
Okay.
If you are hungry, there's also a kitchen down there.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, why don't you get to know the place, and then we can meet, in a little while.
All right.
Yes, I'm just going to go back and finish reading this paper. Yes, Paris Gazette, yes. It's not as good as the British paper, but, and he just kind of sits back down and continues to read his paper.
Okay. You guys want to head downstairs?
To the mess hall.
Okay. So
What do
have
you guys
to go
think? Do we want to take bets? Are they going to give us British coffee or French coffee?
I hope French.
I think we're going to taste and see.
British, yeah.
You do have to go through the main part of the library, so there are patrons here. It's not like that upper area is completely locked off. Although the doors, you did notice on the doors to this area, new locks have been installed. So it's very unlikely that, just an average person is going to accidentally walk into this, because the third floor is all offices areas anyway. So there's no reason to be up in that portion of the library from the average customer or patron point of view. If you go all the way back down into the basement, again, this is not an area that the general public is going to have access to. You do have to walk through the stacks and stacks of books that are stored there until you reach an area. Again, door locks have been changed, and you enter another kind of a clearing area, and it is a games room, and there is a snooker table there where you see a couple of soldiers playing snooker, and the two of them look up as you enter the room. These are two of Badger's commandos that go out on missions with him. They kind of nod at you and then kind of give you a head nod over to the southeast corner of the area, where there is a mess hall where you can sit and eat. And right next to that is a makeshift kitchen. There is a woman in the kitchen. Her name is Janine Haddish. Oh, hello. Oh, boys, I've heard that you might be coming. A little coffee for you.
Yeah, please.
Oh, good. This is not the typical coffee that we serve. We have to resort to using the local brand of coffee, so it's French press, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
What
too
a
bad. Okay.
shame.
Yeah. So she loads you up with coffee and a couple of buttered scones.
I hold out my hand to Valentino.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pocket whatever monies he gives me.
Yeah, the cost of those tickets in the hospital stay pretty much has wiped out all of your remaining monies.
Okay.
No.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
sorry.
Should I just close out all my
Yeah, close out all your
savings
accounts
here?
there.
Your ledger.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Then after a few moments of sitting down, eating your scones and drinking your coffee, it's very good coffee, by the way. If you want to put cream in it, you can put cream in it. If you want to put sugar in it, you can put sugar in it. If you want to put honey in it, you can put honey in it. No one is going to give you any grief. It's the 1940s. Everyone is a firm, united group of people. They don't choose sides over trivial things like what you want to put in your coffee. But
Yeah.
after a few minutes, walking in to the mess hall is kind of a tall, thin man with black hair plastered down across his face. He's wearing a lab coat, and he comes in, just kind of whistling a little tune, and he stops and looks at you, and he goes, "Oh, you're Doc, right? Oh, yes, remember me? I'm Dr. Sprecher. We met back in Brussels. And he comes over and he shakes your hand and he's pumping your hand. Oh, it's so good to see you again.
Yes. Do I remember him?
He is
the one
the
that showed
doctor.
us the Shoggoth.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
He is also the one that was missing after the explosion.
Oh.
Oh, good.
No.
Glad to see
good,
you're
they
all
found
right.
Yes. It was it was strange. Have you
How
had the
strange?
coffee? Oh, I am still a little foggy on the details. I remember you had left and he gets some coffee and he sits down. I remember you had left the medical bay after we looked at the Shoggoth, and you can see from the other room a couple of the commandos are like, "Oi!" Kind of yelling at him for saying Shoggoth. And then I was continuing to investigate the creature, and then the next thing I know, I open my eyes and I'm unable to move my body. I'm strapped down to something and feel like I'm not in my body at all. And it felt like I was there for days, and then suddenly I'm being dug out of a piece of rubble underneath the tentacle of the creature, and I'm fine. If you believe that, of course.
That's good. I think.
I mean, I'm here. Yeah,
That's
I'm here.
true. It's
I
good to see.
find
We were
that
worried.
story highly dubious and highly unlikely. And coming out through the kitchen is a man with, a very businesslike attire. He's got a necktie and he's got, the things that you put around your arms, the garters on your arms to keep his sleeves up. He just kind of looks at the doctor and kind of rolls his eyes. He's been talking about that since they found him. It's a preposterous story, and I don't believe it. Oh, hello. My name is Oliver Whitaker. I deal with all the technical bits about the facility, weapons, upgrades, scientific research, the true sciences.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, too. I've heard things about you.
A lot of people have. I might recommend, though, that you keep in mind the line about more things in heaven and earth and Horatio's distress thereabouts.
I've seen the Shoggoth pictures. Oi! Yeah, you guys, knock it off. But look. So, what did you bring?
We turned in an artifact to the Brigadier. And,
oh, really? What kind of an artifact did you find this time? I heard you got a mask.
We do have a mask, yeah. This one's an orb.
Oh. Huh, what does it do?
We're not sure yet.
Been told it reveals secrets.
You could bring it into the lab at any time. I'd be happy to look at it.
Okay. Well, the Brigadier has it now, so you'd have to run it by him.
Oh, it's up in his office, is it?
I don't know where he put it.
Okay. What's in the bag? And he references your gunny sack full of guns.
Yeah. Oh, guns.
Oh, yeah? Can I see them?
Sure. I'll open it up, take out my hair product that I put in the inside pocket.
I use that same brand myself.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yep. And then what else do we have in there? Like
he instantly sees the foe seeker. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen one of these things in a while. And he just reaches in and pulls out the foe seeker. This is quite the specimen. Where did you get this?
We got this from the Italian resistance.
Oh my goodness. And he just turns and starts walking back through the kitchen.
Blisco is in front of him.
Okay, so you follow him into the technical lab. This is like your craziest mad scientist laboratory in here. And he sits down on his workbench and he puts on a big pair of glasses and starts examining it. Yes,
we were in the mess hall for the conversation, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, no, he barely makes it into the kitchen before Blisco.
Oh no, he swerves around you and makes it into the technical lab. Yeah. Yes. This is a very great specimen. I haven't seen one of these in quite some time. Yeah, it's very good condition.
It's mine to study.
Yeah. Have you figured out the power source? And he flips open a little panel on the side. See, right here? The Blauer crystal?
I've been working on it. Didn't know it was called a Blauer crystal. Knew it was a crystal.
Yeah. You should probably go find Colonel Harris. He liberated a whole cache of Blauer crystals. It's a great energy source. A great energy source indeed.
I will have to talk to him before I leave with my rifle.
Yes, of course. Have you seen? Oh, look at this modification. And he points to a little switch. This seems to be, and he kind of wiggles it a little bit. Yes, very, very interesting. You understand this, right?
Thing is, I haven't had the chance to do much other than shoot it just yet.
Oh, you've shot it, huh?
Yeah.
Did anybody else follow Blisco into the technical lab, or just
absolutely
just
not
Blisco?
But anybody else could have.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You see here, this is actually regulating the power. The early models, you could only get like 6 or 7 shots off before the power was drained completely, and you had to put a new Blauer crystal in. This one looks like you can easily get a dozen shots off before you have to get a new energy supply.
Well, that's a helpful modification.
These Germans, they really know what they're doing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm a scientist. Politics doesn't bother me.
I'm a farm boy. Politics aren't that my thing, but I know I'm over here because of them.
Yes. Uh-huh. Anyway, I would sure like to take a look at this for a little longer, if that's okay.
How about we work on this together?
He kind of looks around his lab a little bit. Yeah, that should be fine. And he goes over and he pulls a large, like, schematic over something that's on another table. What do you want to know?
I need to figure out how to maintain my weapon.
Well, clean it. You know electronics?
Yes, I do.
All right. And then he's like, hold on just a minute. And he leaves the lab. He comes back a few minutes later. I got a couple of Blauer crystals out of the supply room. Let me show you how to swap this out. And like lightning, he's just like, pull this out, you put this in, you close this up, and you're good to go.
All right. That's good to know.
Was there an expended crystal in the chamber, or does it like destroy the crystals?
You're interested enough to come into the lab.
I wasn't not interested. I just figured this is a fight that Gator needs to fight himself.
I
was just throwing that out. You don't have to answer it.
Young man. Every time you take a shot, the Blauer crystal loses its energy, and then you have to replace it with a new one. This one looked like it had about 1 or 2 shots left in it. Where did you get this again?
Italy. Murano specifically.
I mean, in a weapon shop, or did you get it from the Italians?
Resistance.
Oh, the Resistance. In Murano, you say? Interesting. Oh, well, here's your gun back. I'm going to get back to my research. So thank you. Goodbye.
Have that extra crystal?
Get a requisition form from the brigadier, and then I'll give it to you.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna pocket the one that he was discarding, as well as the new one he put in my gun.
Okay.
Well, not pocketing the new one because it's in the gun, but
you know what, Blisco, you should roll me a will plus resilience D2.
Uh-oh.
Will and resilience. Is it my best?
No, he successes. Yeah, there's a moment, a little small, wave kind of passes over you for a moment, but you just ignore it and you leave the technical lab, pass through the kitchen where Janine Huggins or Haddish is at, and then you're back in the mess hall.
Okay.
I feel like that was a stack of mashed potatoes.
Learned a little bit about the gun. We're going to need to get a requisition form before we head out, because I'm going to need a few more of these crystals. They're the ammunition.
So he actually knew about it?
Yeah, this isn't the first one they've seen. This is just the newest one they've seen.
Huh.
I mean, the British have known about these. I mean, they literally used them against the first critter we found.
Yeah,
true. I had forgotten.
Incorrect.
They used something similar.
They used something similar, and they only had one.
Did it shoot like a blue lightning bolt?
No, it shot a green beam of energy.
Oh, okay. All right. I acknowledge that I was incorrect.
No, that's fine.
Dutch,
I just want to make sure you're.
No.
They were familiar with it.
Dutch was incorrect. He still said that because he doesn't like really get that there's a difference between like blue lightning bolt and green bolt. He's like,
different shades of magic.
Yeah, just like energy weapons, right? They already had one. So you guys can correct them if you want.
Blisco waving around the foe seeker has attracted the attention of the two men playing snooker, and they come wandering in. Wait, where'd you get that? Can I take a look? Yeah, let me see. And they're kind of both clamoring to try to take it out of your hands.
I will set it on the table and demonstrate it for them.
Yeah, one of them just grabs it right away. He looks down. Oh, this is nice. You have more?
Is it
yeah. Can I have one?
That's mine. You'll be giving it back here momentarily, and no, I do not.
And one of them just kind of looks at you and then looks at his teammate and is like, all right, don't be so stingy. And he kind of tosses it back down on the table.
Careful.
We've only got the one right now.
Yes, the doctor is like, yes, well, it's quite fascinating. I'm going back to my lab. Thank you. And good to see you again. I'm glad you're doing well and glad that you survived your trip to Murano.
Glad that you survived our unpleasantness here, sir.
Yes. He kind of scratches his head a little bit and wanders out towards the medical area.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is Whitaker American?
Is Whitaker American?
Like, I'm not like, Steven, I'm forcing you to do an accent. Like, I understand that you might not want to do an accent. That's why I'm asking.
It doesn't sound like he's American.
Okay.
It's if you're trying to place my accent, maybe because it's really hard to place his accent. Even though you as a polyglot speak many different languages, this accent is hard to pin down.
Yeah, I just like it. There aren't a lot of Americans working for Section M. So
right.
I figured if this guy was American, no,
this guy would probably definitely, if anything, he would definitely be British, but he may be from India. He might be from Canada. He might be from any of the numerous places where the sun never sets on the British Empire.
Okay. Good to know. Dutch will continue to enjoy some decent coffee and see if he can track down a newspaper.
Yep, there is a newspaper there. It is also the Paris Gazette. It's not the most recent one because obviously Agent Steve Howland is reading that one upstairs in the briefing room. This one's about a day old.
Yeah, we got to catch up anyway.
Okay. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Not really. I guess there's things that might, as like obviously any mention of like the family business would be a thing, but other than that, Dutch is interested to see how other places are doing because again, he knows people in Warsaw and he knows people in
Sure. So there's a lot of information, a lot of rhetoric coming out of Germany. There's articles about Hitler's rhetoric about how if only people would listen, they could join the greatest nation in the world, and soon other nations will join, whether they want to or not. There's a bit in there about the Canadians and how quote from Mussolini talking again about how he would love to erect a wall around Italy to keep everyone out except fine Italians, because the Italian walls are the best walls that are out there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of the stuff focuses what's going on in Paris. And a lot of the stories are rather biased, more than they probably should be for true journalism. A lot of it is scaremongering tactics about when will the Germans attack. It was just a month ago where Paris was bombed and Nazi blimps were seen flying over the country. How soon before Hitler finally cracks with his insane nonsense and decides that France is his next target. There is a small story in there reminding people about recently that Hitler and Mussolini had agreed that they weren't going to do any aggressions towards one another. There is a little bit out of Spain, but it's, just kind of vagary kind of stuff. Nothing really big. There's a lot of stories in the newspaper about the holidays. We are less than 10 days away from Christmas. And of course, the new year just around the corner from that. And so there's, holiday pictures. There's a story about how even in these troubled times, people are still buying presents for the holidays and how children have hopes and dreams that 1940 will be the best year ever. There is again, because the newspaper is kind of playing up on rhetoric, there's an ad in there that basically says, careful what you say, don't share secrets. Anyone could be a spy kind of thing. Report suspicious activity to your local precinct immediately kind of stuff. What else? There's nothing in there about America, surprisingly, that you see beyond just, regular Roosevelt nonsense about how he's trying to get everybody back to work and out of the Depression and public works projects. It's that kind of stuff. There is some stuff about...
if that would even make it to a French newspaper.
Yeah, it's just just generic policy stuff from America.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But there's nothing in there. There are no stock reports in this newspaper.
Okay. I'll catch up on Little Nemo.
Oh man. There's this one where Nemo goes to bed and you can hear his mom going, wah, 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 wah. And then Nemo has this really crazy, the bed just suddenly grows these really, really tall legs and Nemo's leaning over the edge. And it's like the panel, as you go down the panel, you're just following the legs. And Nemo's talking about how crazy it is that the legs keep growing and yet he's not bumping up onto the ceiling. And then he keeps leaning over and over and over onto the bed. And then finally he falls and he's falling and falling and falling as you're reading down through the comic strip. And there's birds that fly by that want to have a conversation with him. And there's a cat that kind of just jumps on his head and says something and then jumps out of the frame. And finally, Nemo sees the ground coming up and there's a big kerbunk. And then the final frame of the Little Nemo strip is Nemo, who has fallen out of his bed and woken up. Mm-hmm. That seems very Little Nemo-ish.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dutch will crack up.
I recognize three different strips in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Sunday paper.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, Dutch will
Yes, and then
crack
he
up,
and
and if there's anybody nearby, he'll like show it to them. Be like, "How does he come up with this stuff?" That
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
He's only been doing this trip for 30 years already.
Yeah, the very corner you see Nemo in a wagon with the cat, and he's like, "Let's go adventuring." Into the room walks Antoine and Pontus. Pontus is the French person who works at the library who was helping Antoine do his research, specifically about the luminaries and the riddles. And they're both eager to come over and shake hands with Valentino and, welcome him back and glad that you're safe and sound, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. How's been things going on here?
Oh, it's been so much to do. Yeah, it's been so busy. It's just so, I forget how Pontus talks. I can't remember if he talks with a French accent. Oui, he's been so busy, or something else. But we've been so busy with research about the luminaries, and we found some interesting information. Oh yes, we found very good information that I think you might be interested in hearing.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
The last time we talked, and literally, you guys all get the feeling that when Antoine and Valentino are in the room together, Antoine doesn't see any of the rest of us.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
we might as well not exist.
So last time we spoke, Valentino, you were talking about the luminaries and how there was a well-to-do group of them in Italy, and we did some research. Yeah, we did some research. It turns out that after the luminaries took the artifacts and split up, we're still trying to get all the details of maybe all the places that they went. One group did go to Italy, and their first stop that we have been able to piece together through diaries and through some esoteric text is that they met up with the Pope, and the Pope granted them privilege to continue to exist. And there may be some information that he may have helped fund them in their early years, and maybe that's why they're still around today and are as well-to-do as they are.
Interesting. Do you know where else this particular faction may be active?
Well, we can't find any other active sources. Of course, you did meet that Mr. Riddle, and he seemed to indicate when you filed your report that they were few and scattered around the world and not as organized as these Italian luminaries were.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, they lost touch with each other.
I think that may have been the point, right? If no one knew where the artifacts were headed, then it would be impossible for someone to find where all the artifacts might have gone.
Sure.
That's reasonable.
But, we did obviously figure out that Egypt was one of the locations and Italy was one of the locations. I don't know. Have you guys found out? You did say something about St. Petersburg, right? We're still looking into maybe where that artifact might be in St. Petersburg. But, Valentino, it's so cold this time of year. I don't think you want to go to Russia now.
Well, perhaps not. We did also get some information about something being in a place of learning in America, but...
Yes, we are tracking that down now. There's two potential places that it could be, both in the Northeast. We do believe either Arkham or maybe Boston University, but I think that Arkham, with their large collection of occult texts, that might be a place to check, or at least Dr. Armitage would be probably a better person to talk to about that.
I was kind of considering that, largely just because that is the alma mater of Doc over there. We might have to have him go back and show us around.
Not nearly as cold there.
There's that. I mean, I don't know if we can put off going to St. Petersburg until the spring, but
I mean, spring in St. Petersburg is so nice.
Yeah, well,
remember what Napoleon learned.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, should that be our next plan here? What do you think, Doc?
Well, it seems like it's definitely an option. I can't for the life of me remember what our other possibility was other than St. Petersburg before.
I think it's
it was the
only thing we
U.S.
had.
Was
Yeah.
it the U.S.?
Yep.
Oh, we did. All right. Then
But,
yes.
the U.S. is such a grand, big place
Yeah.
that it could be anywhere in the United States.
Honestly, I feel like Arkham might be an easier get in some ways.
Well, you say that
for sure that it's there, but Armitage is kind of a foremost authority on all things weird. And he kind of puts his hands up and does the quote sign, weird, right? Yeah, weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, maybe we could get some more intel, huh? Maybe a better idea of where to head.
That might be, yes, it might be. Was there anything else that you were hoping to do while you were here in Paris, Valentino?
Oh, I don't know.
were you talking about like catching a show, Valentino?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be bad if we had the time.
Oh, unfortunately, the King in Yellow play kind of closed. It was a mysterious disaster, and like several of the cast members were. And he kind of looks around, murdered.
Oh, dang. That's too bad.
I was like, it was pretty good.
When I said it was to die for, I didn't mean literally.
Someone did.
I might mention to you, Brian, as just a way of email exchange reminders that we had that there was something that you wanted to do.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll kind of. Well, we did get some interesting help from General Eisenhower.
Oh, you got to meet General Eisenhower? How is he? I've heard so many great things about him. I've, of course, never met him in real life. And he kind of stares at you right in the face as he's saying that.
He's an interesting fellow. We kind of met him second time, although it wasn't quite in person the first. But he did seem to give us some assistance in the way of arcane matters that seemed to work out fairly well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. God, I was warned to never to do too many accents or too many voices in one thing. Magic is full of bunk. Yeah, that's Oliver. You can hear him from the other room.
Insightful.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I feel like it might be a potential benefit to fight fire with fire, so to speak. I was kind of hoping
you're thinking of dabbling in magic.
Perhaps. I mean, it's definitely been a thorn in our side here a bit, and being able to, circumvent or poke through it every now and again may be helpful.
You know that Antoine has studied some magic in his days. Pontus, I've told you not to talk about that.
You never told me this.
I don't tell too many people.
Oh,
but,
I can get
and then
it.
he leans in close. Then he kind of leans in close to you because suddenly the snooker table has gone quiet, and the cook has kind of stopped her stirring to kind of pay attention to what's going on. But he leans in close to you. You do know that there's a large occult section in this library, right?
I can't say I was aware. That might be something I'll check out there.
I could take you. We could go and look together.
Yeah. If you could maybe show me some particularly interesting tomes.
Yes. We could go now if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Things have gotten a little.
Antoine, don't forget that you have to meet with the Brigadier again.
Can you?
Oh yes. We've got time.
If you're sure. I mean, do you want to keep the Brigadier waiting? I could.
No,
meet you there
I understand you also have to meet with him as well at some point, or at least they have to meet with him.
Yeah, I feel like they could fill in the details, or we can always report back later if there's anything it needs from me particularly.
Excellent. Let's go now. And he grabs your hand and he rushes you out of the basement area. I'll give everyone else a chance to do something if they like before we rejoin Antoine and Valentino in the occult section?
Dutch will try to get just acquainted with everybody who's down there, with like Haddish and with Badger's boys. Just hang out, be nice, talk to them about stuff, since they're soldiers and he's a soldier, since she's the cook.
They are.
Talk about all like her requisitions and stuff like that. Just happy to chat it up.
Yeah, so the soldiers, of course, are more than happy to share what they can about their war stories. They were most recently in Egypt, where they inform you about this raid that they did on a Black Sun camp, and they were able to liberate a cache of Blower crystals, which they brought back. Their scientist Oliver seemed rather surprised that they all came back with that large load of crystals, and there was also some kind of talk about how the intel that you transmitted was very useful in helping them find the mines and at least mark it on the map and confirm that the mines were there, but they just didn't have the time. They had to return to Paris to get that done. But then, of course, you get the feeling that there's some braggadocious moments as they're bragging about how many Nazis that they killed and how many Black Sun guys that they killed and how easy it was for the 5 of them to take everybody out. Ms. Haddish is a youngish woman, and you can tell that there's a pass-through area. It's not like a totally separate room, but it's low counter areas. So you can see from the kitchen into the mess hall and into the games room. And you can see that she's kind of making eyes. She's young. She's probably in her early 20s, but you can tell that she's making eyes with one of Badger's commandos. And he kind of is looking back, and you can see some cute flirting going on. But she's making up as much food as she can for everybody there. A lot of beans, a lot of potatoes at this point, midday stuff. But you find out that they do have a fairly decent menu of food. It is Paris, so she's able to get the foodstuffs that she likes. She doesn't have as much help as she wants because she's feeding at least a dozen people in this area, and she can't make anything too aromatic because of 2 reasons. Number one, she doesn't want patrons upstairs to wonder why they suddenly smell the fine food and cuisine wafting through the library. And then also, she kind of indicates that there's something underneath the library, that if she makes something too appealing, that like they hear bumps and things going on underneath.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah. So the food's kind of plain. Ghouls.
Gooblies.
Yeah.
Creepo.
So that's what you find out from them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Dutch will tell him some stories and talk about, just stuff. He's been all over the place, talk to them about whatever they want to talk about. Try to like ingratiate himself a little bit.
Yeah, they seem, just like when you were back in Belgium and you were outside smoking with those soldiers there. These guys seem pretty open, and friendly towards you. They don't like to say the word Shoggoth, of course. Nobody that's part of the military branch likes to mention it because these guys have lost good friends to the Shoggoth. Instead of a party of 5, this used to be a good platoon of 11.
Yeah.
And so they've lost some people to that foul creature is what they keep calling it.
Well, if it comes up, we'll tell them about Easy Peaslee and what's the other guy?
Clyde, Clyde was he's the one that got killed. Peaslee is the one that went insane.
Right.
Yep.
Or started screaming stuff and acting weird.
They were both killed by the Scottish play, who don't speak its name.
Anybody else besides Dutch want to do anything? You've got, a little bit of time.
I would like to do something if possible.
Okay, yeah.
I would like to trigger a flashback of my days at Arkham and see if I have any flashbacks of Armitage.
What are you trying to figure out? What are you trying to remember?
Do I know this guy? The Armitage that we're talking about is this feller that they're talking about at Arkham? Didn't they say a Professor Armitage?
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows Armitage. He's like they're big. He is in charge of the Arkham Library. He's in charge of their occult section. He's a big name. He is the big to do.
The important question is, does he know me?
He does know you.
That's probably bad, actually. But what are you going to do?
Bad to know.
Yeah, but I know it,
Let's go.
and that's important.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Anything for you?
Yeah. I'm going to start active. Now that I have a chance to do this in a place that is not going to cause us problems, I'm going to start learning how to dismantle and reassemble my rifle.
Your foe seeker? Yeah, you probably ought to be careful because, again, nobody really seems to know exactly how this thing is put together. The one that you did see that that Section M had was nothing like this. And so there's a good chance that if you break it, you may not be able to put it back together. So why don't you roll me a insight plus engineering, please, and let's make this a D2.
Mechanical or otherwise?
Sure, mechanical. Yeah, I don't think you have electrical engineering, do you?
I do not. I have mechanical as my focus in engineering.
So, well, no, I'm going to say no on this because this is really electrical stuff. So, yeah, you can't use your focus on this.
Do we have?
You do have 2 momentum.
Okay. This seems like a very important thing not to screw up.
Okay. You want to use a momentum?
Is that a D2,
I will
right?
allow you to. Yeah, D2.
Yeah.
Hey, 2 successes. Very good. Yeah, you are able to figure out how this weapon kind of works. You're not sure about all the electricals, but you understand that wires go to things from power to things that generate explodey parts. And you understand how this weapon is put together through all the screws and everything. The cool thing is there only appears to be a couple of moving parts. One of them is the trigger. The other one is the contact point where the Blower crystal meets what looks like a tungsten rod of some kind on the inside. And that spark, very much like welding, indicates that is what is causing it to shoot out. So the good thing is this is a fairly solid weapon. You could probably, are you at a 5 on engineering?
I am not at a 5 on engineering yet.
Okay, you are very close. You think that with enough time and enough, thinking about, and maybe even talking to Oliver, that you could probably figure out how to make this weapon a little bit smaller so it's not as bulky as it is.
Like handheld smaller or just less heavy rifle?
Yeah, less heavy and easier to conceal.
Right.
Almost like a sawed-off shotgun size. Yet you would still maintain its power.
Right. Yeah, while doing this, Blisco's been taking copious notes and diagramming the thing and whatnot, and once realizing the breakthrough, we'll take it to Oliver if he's still in the lab.
You walk into his lab and he's hunched over something, and as soon as he hears you enter, you see him very quickly take that large schematic and pull it over whatever he's doing, and he quickly turns around. Yes, what do you want?
Figured some things out with the foe seeker.
Oh?
I'll put down most of my notes, basically just right on top of the schematic he just pulled over, basically making it clear that I don't care whatever it is he's doing in secret or trying to keep from me. And they start pointing out so this is the general basis of it. This is what we're working with. I should be able to disassemble and reassemble it relatively easily now, so as I can clean it and make sure, proper maintenance, weapon maintenance. But I think
talking about redesigning the size of this weapon. Why would you do this to a perfect weapon like this?
We're on a stealth mission most of the time.
Oh. Well,
this is not particularly stealthy.
Yeah. I understand. And he's flipping through your notes. Well, if you want to do it, it's up to you. This is a pretty powerful and valuable weapon. Go ahead. It's on your shoulders, not mine.
All right.
Meanwhile, in the stacks. So, What are you wanting to do, Valentino? What kind of magic? Because I gotta warn you, magic takes a terrible toll on one's soul.
Yeah, I figure as such. I mean, but yeah, like I say, we keep kind of running into it. I think the main thing I would want is a way to peer through like magic or obfuscating capabilities. Something that might help me see the truth of anything that magic is obscuring.
I don't know if I can truly do that. That sounds like something that the orb should do, right?
Possibly.
It would probably be better if you had something that would, I don't know, let you know more about magic items, perhaps?
Yeah, that could be handy.
Well, let's see. Yeah, so he's taking you down the different aisles, and he's like, oh, yeah, the Dynamicon, there's the Book of Shrouds, Vesta de los Muertos, here's D's Hidden Treatises, here's the Cult of DC, this one, and he pulls a book off the shelf, and he starts flipping through. I don't think you've not trained in magic that I know of, right?
No, not. I can't say. I've only read some words that were given to me by a general sorcerer.
I think magic that you can do instantaneously is probably not a good idea. I think that might lead to some horrible results. You might be better served with some kind of a ritual.
Okay.
That's one that you can take a little bit more time in getting the words right, doing the incantations correctly. Here's one that allows you to learn information about stuff. It's called an insight spell, and it should help you out.
Okay.
But again, as he's looking through this, again, remember that magic does take a toll physically and mentally on the person who's casting the magic. So you need to make sure that you are prepared for that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Also, it looks like this particular ritual, and he's kind of reciting a few things. You need some kind of implement to be the focus of this. It's something small that is personal to you, perhaps. Oh, I know. And he reaches up and takes this necklace off from around his neck, and he puts it around your neck. It's a little pendant. This should be familiar to you. This might be a good way to focus your energies.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like that'll work.
Okay, now I must again stress to you, you should probably get a couple of candles. That might help as well. But okay. I should stress to you that there is a cost to magic. You understand that?
Yeah. Again, I feel like there's going to be a big cost if we don't find some way to deal with what we keep running into. So
Antoine kind of looks up and down the stacks, and he's like, okay, we need to bind this ritual to you. So sit down here.
All right.
Both kind of sit down, crisscross applesauce. And you can tell I got kids. And now hold my hand.
Okay.
And recite after me. And he starts muttering some stuff, and you can mutter it as well. Repeat it back. I need you to do an observation plus will D2.
All righty.
Like a momentum.
Yeah. I think, what do we?
You have one momentum left.
Just one? Yeah, I'll take it. All right.
Okay. And you can always give me threat.
Could give Steven 2 threat.
Well, hold on a second. Let's see if he does this.
Okay, I will try it with just the one momentum here. Hey,
Hey,
3 successes.
You get a momentum back. And what I now need you to do is I need you to roll. So rituals in Achtung Cthulhu, the D20 edition, in order to have your magic be cast or work, it has stress as well, just like when you're attacking an enemy. And so you actually have to break its stress track in order to activate the spell. But because we're binding your spell right now, I'm not going to have you try to do both steps to achieve this. I'm just going to make you do the half stress value, which is 5. So your will right now allows you to roll 2 bonus dice. In addition to, because you are a dabbler in magic, you have a power of 1, which means you get to roll 1 die just from your power of dabbler. And then because your will is so strong, you can roll 2 more dice for that in the hopes of getting 5 total hits and hopefully no effects. Now, that is relatively hard to get 5 hits on 3 dice, especially when 2 of the sides of each dice is blank. You can push your power, you can concentrate really hard, and you can generate 1 threat to add an additional die to this pool. And you can do that a maximum of 2 times. So your maximum power can be 3 at the cost of 2 threat to the GM.
Yeah.
So that would then allow you to roll 6 dice to try to get 5 hits.
Still kind of steep odds, but I'll do it. I'll give you all the threat.
Okay. So now I have 10 threat. You hear a strange whisper down the stacks. If there was a candle down here, the candle would flicker. So go ahead and roll 3d6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, 4 plus an effect. So you are. Let's see. This is. I think this is a mental drain. So you have to take 2 mental damage on this.
Alrighty.
And if you have any kind of courage, at least one of the stress goes through.
Okay. All right. So I do take 1.
The spell is kind of bound to you. It is now a flawed spell instead of a normal spell. So a flawed spell means that the way this insight spell works for our listeners and for all the other players that are here, Brian already has this information. When you perform the spell correctly, the player may ask the GM several questions about a single person, entity, object, or place, which must be answered truthfully as per obtained information. The spellcaster may ask 1 question for each step in the ritual that is required, and there's 2 steps. So he'd be able to ask 2 questions. The problem is because it's flawed, you may get flawed answers to the questions asked. They're still true, but there may be some falsehood about them. Or it may be somewhere in between.
Can he fix the ritual?
He can. He's going to have to perform the full ritual in the future to see. So this would be the 2-step process. He's going to have to take, he's going to have to break that full 10 stress track to do that. And he's more than likely going to take additional mental damage each time he does that. And that's, again, only on the effects does he take the drain effect. And Brian, hopefully all of that stuff that I sent you made sense.
Yeah. Still.
Okay. Yeah, we'll work through it as we go through. But after you kind of recite the stuff, you stumble a couple of times. You suddenly have this massive, headache just comes over you instantly, and it hurts a lot. Oh, are you okay? I noticed you didn't say the words quite correctly. Hopefully the ritual is bound to you correctly and to the necklace.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to take some practice, but I feel like that gives me something to start with.
Okay. And he, looks around and just coughs. And as he coughs, he rips the page out of the book, which, he's a librarian. And for him to do this, that's the big deal. And he hands it to you. Here's what you need to do.
All right.
Before we go, can we talk about something?
Yeah.
I'm working with Eisenhower, right?
Yeah, he mentioned.
So I've been slipping him information that I know that the Brigadier is not sharing, but... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's good. That's...
But I'm using methods that don't pertain to this office.
I see.
But there is something going on here that's weird and strange, and I don't think anyone's willing to speak out about it. I think there's a spy in the office. I think there's a spy in Section M. Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. This week we had a few NPCs named after our patrons, including Dr. Sprecher, named after Mark Sprecher. Again, apologize if I am mispronouncing your name. And of course, Secret Agent Stephen Howland also appeared in this week's episode. You want your name to appear as one of these NPCs in future episodes? All you need to do is become an associate producer at patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2023 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.